Have you ever wondered why some people grow stronger and calmer while others exhaust themselves trying to prove a point? The difference often lies in one simple truth. When you focus on yourself and choose silence over noise, you build a life that speaks louder than words ever could. Today, I want to share with you the secret power of focusing inward and mastering the strength of silence. Number 1, inner growth comes from silence. There is a quiet strength in silence that most people never truly discover. We live in a world filled with constant noise, opinions from others, endless information, and distractions that pull our minds in 100 directions. In the middle of all this, silence becomes more than just the absence of words. It becomes a sanctuary for the soul. When you choose silence, you are not running away from life. You are giving yourself the gift of space to think, to reflect, and to grow. It is in silence that clarity begins to form, where you hear your own voice above the crowd, and where your inner strength has room to expand. Growth does not always happen in visible ways. Much like a seed planted in the soil, growth begins in darkness, away from the eyes of others. The roots stretch deep before a single leaf appears above ground. In the same way, your inner growth often happens in moments of quiet reflection, when no one is watching, and when you are not speaking but listening to your thoughts, to your heart, and to the subtle direction of life itself. Silence provides the conditions where your hidden strengths take root, where patience is cultivated, and where confidence is built without the need for approval. When you learn to embrace silence, you also learn to master yourself. Words can be wasted, but silence protects your energy. Arguments can drain you, but silence keeps your peace. Reactions can weaken your focus, but silence sharpens your attention inward. In the stillness, you develop discipline, emotional control, and the wisdom to know that not everything deserves your voice. This is the place where true growth begins, quiet, steady, and powerful, shaping you from the inside out. Number 2, silence protects your energy. There is a unique power in silence that many overlook. Every time you engage in unnecessary arguments, defend yourself against meaningless criticism, or try to explain your every action, you are giving away pieces of your energy. Energy is the very fuel of your life, and once it is drained by constant noise, you find yourself exhausted, unfocused, and unable to give your best to the things that truly matter. Silence, however, acts as a shield. It keeps you from wasting your strength on battles that do not deserve to be fought. When you choose silence over reaction, you are not surrendering. You are preserving the energy that can be directed toward building your vision, strengthening your character, and fulfilling your purpose. Silence allows you to rise above negativity. There will always be voices around you, some encouraging, some discouraging, and some outright toxic. If you respond to every word spoken about you, you will find yourself tangled in endless debates that rob you of peace. But when you remain silent, you create a boundary between your inner world and the chaos outside. In this quiet space, your energy remains intact and your mind stays focused on growth rather than conflict. This is not weakness, but strength, because real strength is measured not by how loudly you respond, but by how wisely you conserve your inner resources. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on noise. It is meant to be invested in your dreams, your health, your relationships, and your future. Silence gives you the control to decide where your energy flows. When you stop reacting to every distraction and criticism, you redirect that power back to yourself. You become more centered, more peaceful, and more prepared to channel that energy into lasting progress. Number 3, focus turns goals into reality. Every dream begins as a thought, a small spark of imagination that holds the possibility of a greater future. But dreams alone are not enough. It is focus that transforms those dreams into reality. Focus is the ability to direct your energy and attention toward what matters most, without being distracted by noise, doubt, or temptation. When you give yourself fully to a single goal, you concentrate your strength in one direction, and that concentration creates momentum. Just as sunlight becomes powerful enough to burn when directed through a magnifying glass, your energy becomes unstoppable when channeled with focus. Distractions are everywhere, pulling at your mind and your time. People will have opinions, opportunities will compete for your attention, and difficulties will try to discourage you. If you allow yourself to be scattered, your progress slows and your goals remain out of reach. But when you make the decision to focus, truly focus, you begin to separate the essential from the unnecessary. You learn to say no to things that drain you and yes to the actions that bring you closer to your vision. Every step becomes intentional, every choice becomes purposeful, and every moment is invested in growth rather than wasted in confusion. Focus also brings clarity. When you know exactly what you are working toward, your mind clears of distractions and your heart finds peace in the journey. Instead of rushing from one idea to another, you move forward steadily with patience and discipline. And with every small step taken in focus, your goal moves closer to becoming your reality. Focus turns vague wishes into solid plans, and it is those plans, followed with persistence, that create success. In focus, your power is multiplied, and your goals begin to take shape in the world around you. Number 4, silence speaks louder than words. There is a depth in silence that no speech can ever fully capture. Words are often scattered, misunderstood, or lost in noise, but silence carries a power that lingers long after the moment has passed. When you choose silence in the face of criticism, when you remain calm instead of reacting, you speak a language of strength that requires no explanation. People may expect you to argue, defend, or fight back, but when you remain silent, your composure communicates confidence, control, and dignity. It is in that silence that others begin to notice the weight of your character without you uttering a single word. Silence has the ability to reveal truth in ways words cannot. Arguments can be twisted, explanations can be ignored, but silence leaves no room for distortion. It forces others to reflect, to question themselves, and to recognize the quiet strength you carry. In many situations, silence is not avoidance but mastery. It shows that you value your peace more than winning a temporary battle of words. It demonstrates that your energy is too precious to be spent on noise and that your self-respect is greater than the need for validation. This kind of silence does not weaken your voice, it magnifies it. There is also wisdom in knowing when silence is more effective than speaking. Some victories are not won by proving a point, but by holding your ground quietly and letting your actions deliver the message. Silence, when chosen with intention, has the power to disarm conflict, to command respect, and to speak directly to the heart. Long after words are forgotten, silence leaves an impression that cannot be erased, reminding everyone that true power often resides not in speaking, but in the discipline of remaining still. Number 5, comparison steals progress. One of the greatest obstacles to personal growth is the habit of comparison. When you measure your worth against someone else's achievements, you begin to lose sight of your own journey. Progress is deeply personal. It cannot be measured by the speed or success of another person's path. Yet many people spend their energy watching others, feeling discouraged by their victories and questioning their own potential. This constant comparison drains focus, creates doubt, and robs you of the joy that comes from recognizing how far you have already come. Instead of fueling growth, it feeds insecurity, leaving you stuck in a cycle of frustration. Every individual has a unique story, with challenges, lessons, and timelines that cannot be duplicated. When you compare your progress to someone else's, you ignore the battles they may have fought in silence and the battles you are meant to overcome in your own life. Progress is not about being ahead of others. It is about being ahead of who you were yesterday. The moment you shift your focus inward, you begin to notice the quiet victories, the discipline you built, the habits you changed, the courage you developed. These are the true markers of growth, and they cannot be taken away by someone else's success. Comparison also blinds you to your strengths. When your eyes are fixed on someone else's lane, you lose balance in your own. You stumble not because you are incapable, but because you are distracted. The truth is, the more you compare, the more you delay your own progress. But when you guard your energy, stay silent toward the noise of competition, and focus only on your purpose, you discover that steady growth creates results far greater than comparison ever could. Number 6, peaceful focus builds lasting success. Lasting success is not built in chaos, but in the calm and steady rhythm of peaceful focus. When your mind is scattered, chasing every distraction and reacting to every noise, your energy becomes divided and weak. But when you bring yourself into a state of peace, silence the unnecessary voices around you, and focus deeply on your purpose, your work begins to carry power. Peace gives you clarity, and clarity directs your focus. In that combination lies the secret to building something that not only succeeds, but endures. True progress comes from consistency, and consistency requires calm. If you are constantly stressed, competing with others, or running after shortcuts, you may achieve temporary results, but they will not last. Success that is rushed often fades just as quickly. Lasting success, on the other hand, is built brick by brick with patience, discipline, and focus. Peace is what gives you the strength to keep building even when results are slow, even when others doubt you, and even when the world feels noisy. In your calmness, you discover the patience to wait and the persistence to continue. Peaceful focus also protects your vision from being destroyed by negativity. When you carry peace within, outside criticism cannot break you and distractions cannot move you off course. Instead of reacting, you keep moving forward quietly, steadily, and with determination. Over time, this quiet discipline builds a foundation so strong that no storm can shake it. Lasting success is not about noise or competition. It is about the inner stillness that allows you to keep your eyes on your purpose until it becomes reality. Peace makes your focus unshakable, and that focus creates results that stand the test of time. So as you walk away from here today, remember this: your greatest strength lies not in chasing noise, not in competing with others, but in turning inward with focus and guarding your silence. Every moment you choose peace over chaos, focus over distraction, and silence over meaningless words, you are building a life of real power. Let your growth speak for itself. Let your calmness guide your steps, and trust that the quiet work you do within will create success so strong that nothing outside can ever shake it.